When I go and prep a card for grading, first things first I do is I personally will give it my own four-point scoring system. I grade, of course, not so much that I grade, but I score the centering, the surface, the corners, and the edges, just like other grading services do, especially BGS. That way I can know what I feel this card is going to get. I like to, of course, err on the strict side of that. After I give those scores to a card, I then average the 4 to find out what its average score is, giving me that card score, essentially. So if a card gets 10 on the centering, a 9 on the surface, a 9.5 on corners, and a 10 on the edge, well, then that's going to be a 9.6, right? If it gets, let's go with like a 10 on the centering, surface 9.5, corners 9.5, edge 10, that's going to be a 9.8. Pretty self-explanatory, right? And then, of course, like I said, I have tracked all that data so we can know what is our gem rate based on the score that I give a card. And with that, our gem rate for cards scored a 10 is 100%, which is good. That's what we want. We want that, right? If I think that a card is perfect on the surface, perfect on the centering, perfect on the corners, perfect on the edges, then we would hope that every single one would get a 10. And so far, although it has not been a lot, like I said, we've graded over 1,000 cards. I've given 57 cards a perfect 10, 10, 10, 10. And all 57 of those cards received a PSA 10. On cards 9.9 and 9.8, we have graded a little over 350 of those that have gotten a 9.8 and a 9.9. From PSA, those have had an 84.38% gem rate, which is great. We love that. On our 9.6 and 9.5s, and this is where I just feel this is very damning for PSA. Does this mean that I'm going to stop grading with PSA? Unfortunately, no, because we grade for you all. And at the end of the day, we're going to choose the service that we feel is going to give the card the most value, right? And as of right now, when it comes to cards that I score a 9.6 and 9.5, I feel that that's PSA that's going to add the most value. But the reason why that is unfortunately, on those cards that I have scored a 9.6 or a 9.5, which is over 200 cards now, we have a 71.83% gem rate. Cards that we have scored a 90 or a 9.4, lower than a 9.5, we have a 40.38% gem rate with PSA 10. Is that good? I mean, no, right? You want to have at least a 50% gem rate on what you submit. But on these ones, 9.4s, I don't feel confident sending those in for a PSA 10 yet. The ones that we have sent in, because people will tell us, oh, send it in anyways, it's for my PC or something like that. 40.38% of them have gotten PSA 10s. To me, that's scary. So now I'm sitting here holding the PSA 10, and I don't know if it's a 10, a 9.5, or should have gotten a 9 even. On that. And then this is the biggest one to me. On cards that I have scored a 9.1 to a 9.3, most of them being 9.1s, we have a 20% gem rate, which means 1 in 5 cards that I have scored a 9.1 or 9.3, 1 in 5 of those are getting a 10. The biggest thing on that is we have 8 of the cards that we have graded, because we've graded a total of 41 of those cards. 8 of them have gotten 10s, 21 of them have gotten 9s, 9 of them have gotten 8s, and 3 of them have gotten 7 or lower. That to me is a scary thing, to know that there is a chance that the PSA 10 that you are holding got a very generous grade. A very generous grade.